Hey guys, welcome back to my new video. Today I thought I would show you a little tip for on the road, predominantly in clubs. Well, pretty much only in clubs you'll need to use this. It's basically when you are unable to directly connect to a house system with HDMI due to multiple reasons, but main one being an issue I had recently. We did a club in Bangkok. They said I would be able to connect, and then I wasn't able to due to it being multiple outputs. Basically, to actually unplug from their system into mine would have just been very difficult. It would have been hot swapping. There was no switches, and yeah, this can be an issue. Never at festivals. Generally, festivals are quite well equipped and prepared for this situation, but definitely have had this issue a lot at clubs. Generally, I find this can happen in places like China. I've had this issue, and some places within Asia. So it basically will be like a cool LED screen design that could probably fit on one or maybe two 4K processors, but because of stock or supply or whatever, or yeah, just general cost of 4K cards, they have 6 or 8 or 4 HD processors, and also two of those lines might be DisplayPort and two might be HDMI, and multiple issues. So this is my solution. This isn't obviously the first thing I turn to because it's not ideal, but it is a solution for this problem. In saying that, the solution is either NDI or HDMI capture card. I'm not saying at all just send a HD output into their system and then just they can do all the slicing. No, I still want to have pixel perfect control. I like to map my alpha layer, like logos and text or whatever it might be, to just the rear screen. And then I like to do my stage flow, different looks. Also camera, I like to do cameras in certain places. I don't want to just send my full image and then when I turn the camera on, it takes over that whole image and, you know, it's all over the room. So this is a way to get out of it. Again, I wouldn't recommend this. You guys might have your own ways to get through this. Obviously, in a perfect world, we would love to just connect straight to our system. Boom, happy days. They have a switcher, everything's sweet. Not always the case. Trust me, I've done a lot of advancing for shows where they'd be like, yeah, sweet, all approve everything, everything's good, and they just kind of want to get it over the line, and then you rock up and you're the one that has to put the fire out because you're being paid to travel and to do the show, and the artist expects it to happen, so you have to make it happen. So this is a solution. If you know this, that's great. This is for people that are stuck. They don't have a solution and they need a way out of this problem. So this is how I do it. Let's get stuck into it. Currently at the moment, I have my desktop PC, which is in front of me that you can see that I'm screen recording, is running. This would be my touring laptop that I bring to the show. And then for the house computer, I have my M1 Max, my touring laptop. This is referencing the house computer with all the HDMIs plugged into it. Doesn't have anything plugged into it, but just for reference, this is next to me. Connected both with a network cable for NDI, and I've got my HD Blackmagic capture card also. This is the way to do it, and I'm going to show you NDI. Just for reference, I do not have any IPs set for it. As you can see on this computer, my touring laptop, they're not static IPs. I've just got a DHCP, and same with my Windows computer. So they are connected together via network. Now, basically the concept is, if we have a look at this map, so this map that I've got actually is a festival that you would have seen maybe my last video if you saw it on Resolume and Stage Flow. This is a bit of an edited version of Nameless Festival 23, I think it was. This has nothing to do with the festival. I'm just using their map, so nothing to do with Nameless, just to clear that up. Sweet. So as you can see on the output side, there's two outputs. Now let's say they're both DisplayPort and they don't want to unplug it. They want you to run it into their system. Obviously you can say, no, I want to plug in, hot swap's not ideal, but let's just say for this example, this is our only option. So obviously we don't want to just send a full image and then they do the mapping. I want pixel perfect control of this map. The idea is this input side of things, you want to be able to send that out of your computer. So basically you're going to make that your output. And in case you do have venues that have a map, say like this one, where the DJ screen is over the top of the rear screen, you're going to come into issues with when you come to mapping. you want to really make sure that there are no slices overlapping. You want to make sure that everything is in its own space within the composition or output screen you're sending, especially if you're pixel perfect sort of control. So before you do anything, I would recommend obviously bringing this up so it's not on top of there. That was just for reference. The actual one I'm using, they are not on top of each other. So that's pretty much ready to go. And also on their computer, if we come over here, same deal. You want to make sure nothing's on top of each other, which as you can see, it's not. And outputting, that's sweet. You don't need to touch their output. I do want to say though, please make sure before you start messing with the map, messing with anything on their computer, resave as your own file, because you don't want to get all your stuff good and then that awkward moment where you go to switch back and you've saved over all their stuff and it's ruined their file. That is a big problem. I haven't done it. Luckily, I managed to be on top of it before making that mistake, but please make sure you save their maps before you start messing with them. So as you can see on their computer, you don't want to touch the output map because that's set, that's good. They're doing all the outputting. The input side, basically your goal now is to output from your computer the exact same map that they have on their input side. So lucky for us, the file they sent, we've got the input maps. So they're identical. If you do have to make changes, like I said before, where you have to move things because they're overlapping, you might need a save. Obviously, when you save, again, don't touch the output because the output's correct. Do all your changes, whatever it is you need to do, save, and then import it onto their computer. Again, not affecting their map. So once you've done that and you're like, okay, cool, their input is the same as my input, happy days. This is where you want to change your output to match that input. Basically, you want to be sending your output as their input. Simple as that. So in other videos, I've said never touch the output. That's not your problem. This is the one of the times where you do need to change your output. This works for me a lot. So it is a way out. If we save on this computer, were to go to this output and we were to go and send down NDI the map, it's receiving the NDI, as I said. If you don't know to add this source here, if I clear it and it's not there, you need to go to sources and then it will come up as NDI source here. Click and drag, turn it on. Cool. But the problem that I have now is I am only sending the output one. That's all I'm sending, these slices, and they're not correct. So as you see here, if I go onto my Mac, it's not correct to the input map that you can see. So when you go to the output, look at it, it doesn't look right at all. So you need to change your output to match their input. So you want to grab all of these and you want to move it up. Just a heads up, you can't have an output empty. So you want to add a slice, don't move that over, but grab everything else and move it to that other output and turn that off. Cool, it's getting more stuff as you can see, but it's still not correct because you are still outputting as the original output one map. And that's the next part's pretty simple. You want to right click and go match input shape and watch it snap all into their right spot. Boom. Everything is correct. So what I mean by that now is if I change this one to output one, boom, they are correct as per the map. So just to prove something to you, now that's done. If I turn it off, that is my touring laptop controlling video on the house laptop. And if I go to output two, same again. You could even go in and just to double check under output transformation, go identify slices, and you could make sure that, you got to make sure you're on the right page, but make sure that everything is correct as per you need it, if that makes sense. So now I'm sending a pixel perfect image, which is within a 4K image, into their computer, and I can control it how I want. Just an example of why I do this. If I load up stage flow here and I was to my looks, I want to be able to do it exactly how I want to do it. So, you know, if I wanted to break things up and just do individual screens, I can still do that sort of stuff. Quick little selection sort of map. And then let's say I want the logo on that one. I'm just going to quickly try and do this just for reference, just so you can see exactly what I mean. As you can see on my laptop screen, they're starting to pop up, like the logos and stuff. So that's basically why I want pixel perfect. And let's just say these screens I wanted the camera on, and this one I want the banner on. So if I didn't have pixel perfect, and now I was like, I want to turn the camera on only on those screens, now I can have them only on those screens. Does that make sense? Or like, you know, this logo, as you can see, it's only on that rear screen there. Yeah, it's just a way that you can pixel perfect control something. You could use outline, you could use, you know, chaser, everything you want to do, you can do. Like normal, as if you were in full control. If I didn't like the camera there and I only wanted the camera there, now I can do that. The camera's on the back. So this is just one of the ways. Obviously, I'm using NDI. You can use a capture card. Keep in mind, this is a 4K file that I'm sending across. So you need to have a 4K capture card in order to do this. But yeah, that's pretty much one of the ways that you can get out of this problem. So going through the steps at the start, which was preparing the input map so slices aren't overlapping. As you can see, they're not overlapping here. If they are, you prepare it first, get it all saved, name it what you need it, put it on their system, and then obviously move all the slices to one output, send it over NDI into their system, and then obviously on their system, the output's all the same, and then you're just making sure you set to composition on the input source, and you load it up as a slice. Now, I would also recommend, instead of running their file that might have hundreds and hundreds of clips on it, and all these effects and all that sort of stuff, I would make a new one, a brand new empty file, because you don't want all of their stuff on it. So you want to save as, again, label it yourself as a 4K file. It's got the map still there. And then all you got to do is bring in your source. That's done. They don't need to touch the computer. It's there. It's only running your NDI input. And now I can go in. I'll make sure stage float's on. And I'm on full. Now I can run my visuals into their computer. That's on the multi-look that I made. So each of them has their own look. Or I could go back and do a full look. Do you know what I mean? You can choose how you want the show to look. You could use the camera on that rear screen. But you can't see it there, but you can see it on the out. If I change this from the layer to the output, there you go. Camera. You could put up the logo on the rear. You've got pixel perfect control over NDI. Keeping in mind, you may get some frame rate issues sometimes. Capture cards, same deal. Obviously, if you're sending a 1080 image, it's probably better, but obviously resolution and quality is going to drop. But yeah, this has got me out of issues on the road. It's an idea. It's a way to get through it. Makes things definitely a lot easier on you when you have this up your sleeve, ready to go. So this is what I do. Again, also, this does now leave you the option if you want to actually map the screen as per the room. Cool. And now you've got that map. All you got to do is fix this. You can redo that. And now it's mapped as per the room, if that makes sense. So you can now use stage flow the way you want to use it, as it would be for any other show. My little tip, my little trick of how I've got out of issues. I hope it makes sense. Hope this video helped you guys. This is a solution. It's not a first option. It's a solution to having no other options. And yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one.